Welcome back inside Bartle Hall here. It's always a good offseason when you're the defending World Series champion, but it was still a busy offseason for the man to my right, Dayton Moore, general manager of the Royals. Dayton, first of all, congratulations on all you've accomplished in the last few years.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun. And, every year FanFest is a great celebration of baseball, the Royals, but this year, obviously, it's got a little more meaning to it.
You know, Dayton, obviously you go to the winter meetings, you see all your colleagues from around the industry, you are so well respected in this game. What piece of praise, whether it was some from another GM or another scout, about the way you've done things here, what has meant the most to you?
Well, I mean, it's, those are all, it's always great to be around your colleagues, and of course, getting praise from them really feels good. I mean, just the fact that, they believe we've done things the right way. And of course, our model in Kansas City, you got to build from within, so it takes time. So we don't have the opportunity to necessarily go out and be real aggressive on the free agent market, although, we have been at times. But the fact that our ownership was very patient with us means an awful lot. Be able to deliver a good product on the field for our fans is very special. So the fact that, we did it the right way. And, I praise our scouts and our development people, and most importantly, our players and Ned and the coaching staff.
And Dayton, speaking of building from within, also speaking of free agency, Alex Gordon. He is still a Royal today. What can you tell us about the process? Obviously, it took many months to bring him back into a Royals uniform.
Well, it did. And, when the Cubs signed Jason Hayward, I said, you know what? We might have a chance here. And and I don't know that to be the case. That was just my instincts. But, it's really, really rewarding to get Alex back in Kansas City. Obviously, a lifetime Royal, somebody that persevered, changed positions, did whatever the team needed him to do, and then 4 Gold Gloves, Platinum Award winner, American League champion, World Series champion. I mean, grew up a Royals fan. He needed to be here in Kansas City. And I couldn't imagine, looking out in left field and not seeing Alex Gordon. So I'm just really glad he's here.
And you mentioned the support of the Glass family and the investments you made this wintertime, of course. Alex Gordon and also Ian Kennedy, now the 2 largest contracts in Royals history. What drew you to Ian Kennedy as a rotation option?
Well, we need somebody to give us innings. I mean, just, we weren't getting enough ever since Shieldsy left, truthfully. And, Volke did a great job. But, we just, we didn't get the innings out of Ventura and Duffy last year. And not that we can't going forward. You always expect good things to happen. But we needed to make sure that we got somebody who could eat innings, fit our ballpark. He works quick, change-up's his signature pitch, fields his position. And, we feel like he's going to win for us. And we're not going to be able to get out of the gate slow. We're going to need to keep pace with the rest of the division. It's much improved. And with Chris Medlin being in the rotation now, and, he threw 78 or so innings last year. Chris Young historically hasn't been a big innings eater guy, and so we just needed to make sure we got that pitcher that could help us and keep our bullpen intact as well. And you don't want to start using those guys in situations that are unnatural for them that don't benefit the team.
And speaking of the bullpen, you can tell, Dayton, how excited the fans are to see Joakim Soria back here. How important was it to you to make sure you brought him back to fortify that bullpen?
We knew we were going to have Holly, and we needed to make sure that we had a lot of depth there, because if you ask any reliever, they'll tell you they start throwing more than 2 nights in a row, I mean, their stuff starts to diminish. And so you want to be able to give Ned Yost and the rest of the group a lot of options. So we want depth. Hoshaver, we've got Joakim, certainly Herrera and Wade Davis, and Duffy may be in the pen now. It looks like we'll see how spring training shakes out, but we want to have that necessary depth. And Joakim Soria really kind of set the tone early on here for bullpens in Kansas City. Greg Holland will tell you he learned an awful lot from Joakim, and then he's able to pass it down to Kelvin Herrera, and so they just feed off each other. So he's a class person, a great teammate, and a proven winner, and we're glad he's here.
Dayton, you look at spring training, obviously a lot of storylines already, maybe some key competitions you'll have there. What are the key spots you're looking at there, whether it's right field with Dyson maybe getting more playing time, and then of course second base with Infante coming back?
I think our outfield situation I'm really excited about, because I think we've got a lot of guys that fit our style of play. We're Gerard Dyson, Paul Orlando, Brett Eibner, who just really hasn't stayed healthy, but when healthy, he's proven that he can be a power production bat, with defensive capabilities. And Ray Fuentes, who we traded for last year, left-hand hitter, speed player, he can bunt, he can get on base, he can steal bases, he can play all 3 outfield positions. So I'm really looking forward to how that plays out. And of course, second base, Omar, he just really hasn't, played with the consistency since he got hit in the face. And I think after 2 years, hopefully he can get through that. He's certainly a very capable defensive second baseman. You've seen him an awful lot, and we need him to come back. But if not, Christian Colon is proven that he's an everyday winner for us as well, and he can play short and second, and he can fill in nicely or perhaps provide the necessary competition that it fuels both of their paths and makes them both very productive.
Dayton, you've got a world championship team because you yourself built a world championship culture here. Congratulations to you, all the great work you've done here.